everybody. Welcome to episode 2 of the 2023 Rhode Island Amateur Series. Episode 1, we had Adam Tempesta, otherwise known as Tempe's Tees on Instagram from Segregansett. He's playing his first RA Amateur. And episode 2, we have John Cooper, who's playing as well as anybody heading into the amateur. So we'll see what obviously next Monday brings. But John, thanks so much for taking a few minutes and joining the podcast. How are you?
Good. Thank you for having me. Really appreciate the time to talk about the amateur.
Yes, our amateur July 10th to the 14th at Montaup. We were just talking off the air. You said you played Montaup like 12 years ago. So you're hoping to go back there later this week to kind of refresh your memory. But how excited are you to play in the amateur? I know you've played them before, obviously, but how excited are you to get down there?
I'm very excited. It's one of the tournaments that I've been looking forward to since February. I have it marked on my calendar.
Hmm?
I went and got my first ever swing lesson back in February from Drew Anderson, and it's done a lot of it's helped me a lot. So my game has completely changed from 2 years ago to now, and I'm excited to see where the game is in a bigger high level tournament.
That's crazy that you just completely changed your game in just a couple of years. Talk a little bit about that process. Drew Anderson, obviously a great teacher, one RI Golf Pro of the Year, I think. A year ago or two, we had him on the podcast. I can't remember. They all blend into like one big year. So whatever it was, we had him on. Anyway, but just talk about that process and how interesting was it? How frustrating was it? I mean, we just saw Ricky Fowler win on the PGA Tour. Not that I'm comparing you to Ricky Fowler, but he went through a whole bunch of changes over the last couple of years, and he really, really struggled for a long time. Again, I'm not comparing you to Ricky Fowler, but just talk about that process for you. What was that like?
Yeah, so I've been playing golf for 24 years now and never had a lesson. Just my dad and me go to the driving range, figure out what I needed to do to hit the ball where I wanted it to go. The confidence level with iron play was never there. That was the biggest weakness through college golf, throughout everything. Um, I mean, 2021 in the Rhode Island Am, I made it to the round of 16, but it was it wasn't lucky, but that was out of the norm for me to go out and shoot one under for 2 rounds at Kirkray. Um, Last year was a little bit of a struggle, so I'm like, I really want to give it my all this year. My boss at work said, take the time that you need to take off of work and do this, do it right. So I mean, I'm still working, but I went and saw Drew back in February, and we just made a simple little change that has dramatically changed my game. I play different. I play the same golf courses, and I'm playing them completely different than I ever have. It's odd knowing where the ball's going when you hit it, like before you hit it. It's weird.
What a feeling.
Yeah, it's great to be able to have confidence with irons now. Where I would step on a par three that's over 200 yards, I'd be like, yeah, it's on automatic bogey. It just chalk it up to a bogey and just walk away. Now it's like I'm going after the pin and I should be able to make par. And if I make birdie, great.
Well, that's pretty amazing. It's amazing how, like you said, it was just one little thing that you fixed, and now it's like a totally different ball game for you. And now you're going into the biggest tournament of the year locally, anyway. And you certainly seems like you feel like you have a chance to make a run, if not win the whole thing.
Yep, exactly.
Now,
I've been playing in a few tournaments leading up to it. 2 weeks ago, I played in the Taunton City Open, and I missed the birdie putt on 18 on the 36th hole to win the tournament, and then I lost in a playoff. So shooting 71, 72 for a second place finish was pretty good. That helped me get some confidence going into next week.
you've been on a roll. We've been reporting. We obviously been covering all local golf. You've been on a roll. A month ago, whatever it was, maybe it was even more than that. You qualified for the New England Amateur at, I believe it was Crestwood. You played really well that day. So talk about that and how rewarding that was. So not only now you get to play the R Amateur, but now
Yeah.
what is it? The week is always like the week after something screwy. You go on a road trip to the New England Amateur. That's exciting.
Yeah, and that was the tournament that I wanted to try to qualify for this year. And next year, I'll do the USGA stuff. I wanted to see where my game was at and play against the top level players in New England. And I played in it back in 2016, I think, 2015, and I didn't play well. So I wanted to go back and give it a try. And I looked at the leaderboard. I was lucky to tee off in the afternoon during on the Tuesday. And I saw that, the scores were low. I'm like, all right, time to go low. Let's see how low I can get. Um, and I just had a smooth round of golf, except for three holes in the middle of the round. Bounced back and ended birdie birdie to make the cut, which was an awesome feeling. Giving my wife a call at the end saying, "Hey, we got to go to Maine, so tell your work now." But yeah, I'm really excited for that.
Are you somebody that looks at the scoreboard? Do you want to know where you are a lot
Uh,
of times? You said you looked at the leaderboard. Are
I
you
looked
one
at
that
the
looks at the board a lot?
before I teed off. I did. Um, they asked me during the round if I wanted to look. I said, "No, I know what I need to shoot. If I honestly, if I shot 71, 70 and missed the cut, I would have been fine with it as well. Didn't really go there expecting to make the cut. I just wanted to put up a good number. Um, like this is the first year where I'm really trying my best to play good golf and make a name for myself finally. Because I played for Rhode Island College and no one really knows me. So just trying to get my name out there now.
Well, just tell them to go look at the Rhode Island College Hall of Fame,
Yeah.
and then they'll know you. I want to get to that in a minute because I think that was pretty cool, as well. The Rhode Amateur, obviously, the first 2 rounds of stroke play, then it turns into match play. I'm always fascinated. I ask everybody the same question. Just the difference between stroke play and match play for you. Do you change your game at all? Obviously, match play depends on the situation. I understand that, but just in general, do you change your game? Do you prefer one or the other? Are you a match play guy? How do you kind of handle that?
I would prefer to play stroke play. I make a lot of pars. I'm not someone to go out and make 6 to 7 birdies in a round. In 2021, when I played Andrew O'Leary, he had like 8 birdies on the card.
Hmm.
Like, yeah, I can't compete with that, and I don't think I ever will. Um, I prefer stroke play, match play. I'll bore him to death with pars and make a few birdies, and hopefully that gets it done.
Yeah, it's always interesting to hear people, talk about the difference because some people they completely change their games for like they're more aggressive in match play because obviously it's one hole.
Yeah.
You either win the hole or you lose the hole. Basically, obviously you can tie the hole, but you know what I'm saying. A
Yep.
stroke play is more, you can't really be that aggressive or at times because you have to protect the score at the end. So it's always an interesting thing. One thing you mentioned was the wind. Hopefully, it's not too windy at Montaup this year. I know a couple holes are kind of sort of on the water, but I know we were laughing about Wanamatangi last year and how the first two stroke play rounds there were ridiculous, and it wasn't even like golf. It was just like survive. I mean the cut was really high. People said that was a relatively normal number for a cut. It didn't feel that way.
No.
But yeah, last year, hopefully, have better wind conditions this year, for sure. Uh, so we talked about the New England Am. Most recently, which we reported, and you were joking about it, but you just won the Gloucester four ball with Tom Bork, a
Yep.
former Kirkbride member from back when I was a kid, way back. Um, your third straight Gloucester four ball championship.
Yep.
Pretty impressive stuff. Uh, you said it's just the Gloucester four ball, but winning is better than not winning. Just talk about that. How much fun is that to compete in? And it seemed like from the final score, it seemed like it was a pretty good match.
It was a very good match. I think combined we might have the between us and the other team was like probably 15 birdies, which is kind of crazy, especially at Gloucester where the greens are tough because they're small and it's tough to get the ball close to the hole. The course has made me definitely a better golfer. And it was a really, really fun tournament to go out and shoot 66 and not birdie the ninth hole both times. It's kind of aggravating, but still cool.
Absolutely. Now you touched on it. Well, I hit on it briefly. I want to go back last year in 2022. You were inducted into the Rhode Island College Hall of Fame. pretty cool stuff. We'll talk about your career in college. What was that college golf like for you? And then just getting that honor and getting that call to be in the Rick Hall of Fame had to be a pretty cool moment for you.
Yeah, my college, I was very lucky. I mean, I went to a Division III school, and I wasn't a great golfer going into college, and I kind of played myself up playing with better golfers at college. I pushed myself to get better and play better in tournaments and score better. Um, and that just led to a lot of team wins. We were a very good college team. I think we had probably like 45 wins while I was there. We went one season where we were like against all the teams like 120 and three or something. It was wild. And then getting a few individual wins along with my other teammates getting a few individual wins. The biggest one that I won was the NEIGA tournament with a few of like the D1 schools there as well. And then we played in 4 NCAA championships. My final year, I made the cut as an individual, and I was in one of the last pairings as an individual competing. So it was an awesome experience, and being the first golfer inducted into the Hall of Fame is very cool to be able to say and be a part of that legacy at Rhode Island College.
How was the ceremony? Was it cool? You saw see all your teammates or whatever? How was that whole
Yeah,
process of
few of the teammates were there. My coach, Greg Gamble, also got inducted with me as the
that's
coach.
right. Yep.
So it was a really, really good experience to be able to have that with him as well. And I'm excited for the rest of my teammates to join me in the Hall of Fame. It's only a matter of time. And I'm hoping one of our full teams gets inducted as well.
Well, when you have a team that good, it's hard to, hopefully just induct, like you said, the whole team, whatever year, the whole team gets in. That'd be a pretty cool moment. For you, uh, again, kind of going back in the way back machine. But when did golf become a thing for you? Because you said going into college, in your opinion, you weren't really that good of a player. So for you, when did golf become kind of a thing?
Well, I liked high school golf. Um, was pretty good high school golf player, but when I went to playing tournaments, I just could never. If I shot under 80, if I shot in the 70s, I was happy. Um, College really turned up the level of competitive. I'm a super competitive person,
Uh-huh.
but playing with golfers every single day that were better than me just made me try a lot harder. And you learn a lot too playing with all of them.
Absolutely. Every time I play with somebody that's better than me, which is all the time, I always, I don't know if it works, but I try to think I learned something or other. A couple quick hitters, and then we'll get you out of here. But I'm sure you have better things to do. Your go-to shot. You need a shot. What's your club? What shot are you hitting? Obviously, I understand it varies, but just in general, what's your go-to shot? What do you think?
Oh, a little draw 8 iron is perfect. 160. Love it.
um, from past amateurs and how they set up the course, you know, how do you think the course is gonna play? How do you think Montaup's gonna play this week or next weekend?
I'm assuming that they're gonna put some pins in some difficult positions like they did last year at Wanamatonami, like on what was that hole 6 with the green, the horrible green.
Yeah, everyone was complaining about it. That was the only hole that everyone was complaining about the whole week.
Yeah, and for some reason I still remember that. But I think they're also going to set up some holes that are gettable. They want people to score well. They want to see low scores. Last year there were some higher scores, and it felt odd shooting what I shot and still only getting like a shot or two off the cut, which was weird. I would love to see low scores and decent pins. I hate when pins are tucked, and it becomes not even like a skill sort of. It's somewhat luck is related to that, and that I hate that.
So you're not a fan of the U.S. Open then? That's I'm just busting you up, but
No, I like when people score. I like it.
Uh, that's awesome. Yeah, it should be a great tournament. I see you have the live golf thing in the back here. Obviously, I enjoy live golf. I enjoy writing about it for sure. And I went to the Boston one last year, but you follow it. You follow it pretty closely. You're a live golf guy,
I'm an
all around golf guy.
all around golf guy. I make it. So I make signs on the weekends and at night. So it was just something to make and practice.
That's cool. Yeah, and then you got Taylor made and Scotty Cameron. You made all three of those signs.
Yeah, and then I made the Titleist
Oh,
one
boy.
too. Yeah,
Wow.
I have so many around my house. It's a problem.
Wow, see that? When you play in the amateur now, everyone's gonna be asking you for signs to see if you can make them a sign. You make a
Yeah,
business of it.
I'll
You
get a
make a
cease and
business out
desist already. I already got banned once from Facebook for the title.
of it. Well, that's
Wasn't
all
even selling it.
right. Well, that's not great. We'll try to get you banned. But listen, thank you so much for coming on the show. Good luck next week in the amateur at Montaup. I'm sure I'll see you there. And maybe I'll be interviewing you for after the championship round on Friday. But good luck next week. Thanks again for
Thank
coming
you.
on, and it was great talking to you.
Thank you.
That's John Cooper. The RA Amateur is next week, July 10th to the 14th at Montaup Country Club. 2 rounds of stroke play followed by match play commencing on Wednesday. It should be a great time, and you can follow all the coverage on GolfNewsRI.com. Stay tuned for the next episode of the RA Amateur Series 2023 coming later this week. Thanks, everybody.